It's a year since the US began restoring relations with its most hated neighbour, and in the coming weeks, American Airlines will start flying to Cuba. The communist island was one of the world's most isolated nations for more than half a century. Now that is about to change. Jonathan Lee recently visited Cuba for this report.
From the air, Havana looks like a war-torn capital, battered and besieged. Its coastline unchanged since the days when pirates plundered her warm waters. From every angle, Cuba is a country of contrasts. An island trapped in a time warp, desperate for help, but reluctant to alter its political course. 82-year-old James Francisco dares to speak out. He remembers what life was like before America imposed its trade embargo in 1960.
Was better than the hard situation up to date. That's why everyone expects and is waiting for the gate to open, only looking for a better life.
The grandfather sat in the same park when Fidel Castro's party rose to power. He says before communism, crime was king. The mafia ran rampant. These bullet holes amongst Cuba's more visible scars.
This system limits that. The only thing that you can drink here in Cuba is a little bit of rum.
In modern Cuba, internet is sparse, as is graffiti. By day, salsa echoes from bars. Come dusk, football takes over. At night, men play dominoes in dimly lit alleyways. Still, the country's love affair with its former dictator and liberator remains unchanged.
Fidel for us all the time is the hero.
No more so than here, where the CIA-sponsored Bay of Pigs invasion failed dismally and led to the missile crisis that brought the US and the Soviets to the brink of nuclear war. More than half a century later, Washington has finally restored diplomatic relations.
I think it's better for everyone, for the economy and for the country. I think it's a big change.
While tourism may be the country's future, it also has its drawbacks. Businesses which have been struggling for years are driving up prices to cash in, making everyday goods more expensive for struggling local families. The trade embargo is yet to be lifted, but Americans are arriving in droves. Canadian Matteo Sperenza has been visiting for 13 years. He says with each new tourist, the old Cuba is slowly being lost.
What Cuba needs will then take something away from Cuba. When you come to Havana, for example, you're thrown back 100 years.
For now, muscle cars, some with nearly 1 million miles on their clocks, are what people come to see.
Maybe tomorrow change again. But now, yeah, we sit and we wait.
In Cuba, only the people age. For in this country, time stands still. Jonathan Lee, 10 Eyewitness News.